Tired of warm drinks and soggy sandwiches ruining your perfect day out? We put the top small coolers to the ultimate test to find out which ones actually keep their cool and which ones are just glorified lunchboxes. I have packed them to the brim, tossed them around, left them baking in the hot sun, and continuously monitored their internal temperatures to bring you the absolute definitive ranking. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which cooler deserves a permanent spot in your trunk, and you might be very surprised to see which heavily hyped products simply did not make the top of our list. Seven, CleverMade Cooler. The whole premise here is portability and storage, which sounds fantastic in theory for those of us who live in smaller apartments or simply do not want a bulky cooler taking up permanent residence in our car trunks. When you first unpack it, the snap hinge technology is genuinely fun to use, allowing the entire structure to pop up into a semi-rigid box and then fold down entirely flat when you are done. During my initial dry tests, I loved how lightweight it felt over the shoulder, making it incredibly easy to carry from the house to the car. The integrated bottle opener on the strap is a nice little touch, and the exterior fabric feels reasonably durable against everyday scrapes and scuffs. It holds a surprisingly decent amount of cans, and loading it up with groceries or snacks for a quick afternoon picnic feels like a breeze. However, once I put the CleverMade Cooler through some actual outdoor temperature testing, the cracks in its design started to show very quickly. Because it is built to fold flat, the insulation is notoriously thin, meaning this cooler struggles significantly to keep ice frozen for anything longer than a few hours. I left it out on a mild 75-degree day, and within 4 hours, I was left with a pool of chilled water rather than the icy frost I started with. Compounding the insulation issue is the fact that the interior liner and the zippers are not fully leak-proof, which became painfully obvious during my road trip test. As the ice rapidly melted, the water inevitably found its way through the seams, leaving a frustratingly wet spot on my back seat. You really have to rely on reusable ice packs with this one, because loose ice is simply a disaster waiting to happen. Number 6. Ninja FB230BL. Ninja built a massive reputation in the kitchen appliance world, so I was incredibly eager to see how their engineering translated to a rugged, portable outdoor cooler. The standout feature of the Frost Vault is its integrated dry zone drawer, which sits at the bottom of the unit and is designed to keep your sandwiches and snacks completely dry while still utilizing the cold ambient temperature from the ice stored above it. In practice, the dry zone drawer is a really neat party trick that actually works to some extent. I packed a few sandwiches and some delicate fruits in the bottom drawer, filled the top compartment with ice and drinks, and headed out for the day. Hours later, my food was pleasantly chilled and completely free from the dreaded soggy bread syndrome that plagues so many traditional coolers when the ice inevitably begins to melt. But this innovative drawer system comes at a rather steep cost when it comes to overall capacity and practicality. The internal plumbing and structural support required to separate the ice from the dry zone makes this cooler surprisingly bulky and surprisingly heavy, even when it is completely empty. Once I fully loaded it with drinks, ice, and food, lugging the Frost Vault across the beach felt like a genuine workout, and the rigid handles dug uncomfortably into my hands. Furthermore, the insulation performance is decidedly average, largely because the cold air is forced to stretch across two separate uninsulated internal barriers. 5. Anker SOLIX EverFrost 2. This is not just a cooler, it is a fully functioning battery-powered portable refrigerator that completely eliminates the need for ice. Right out of the box, you can tell this is a premium piece of technology, boasting a sleek, futuristic aesthetic and a vibrant digital display that lets you dial in the exact temperature you want your food and drinks to be kept at. Testing the EverFrost 2 felt like bringing a piece of my home kitchen right into the middle of the woods. I set the temperature to a crisp 34 degrees, packed it with a weekend's worth of steaks, beverages, and dairy, and never once had to worry about stopping at a gas station to buy bags of ice. The built-in battery is a massive game changer, lasting an impressive amount of time during my overnight camping trip. And it even features USB ports so I could charge my phone and camera directly from the cooler. What I love most about the EverFrost 2 is that you get to use 100% of the internal capacity for your actual items. Because there is no ice taking up half the volume, you can fit an astonishing amount of provisions into what is essentially a small footprint. The compressor is wonderfully quiet, emitting only a faint hum that completely fades into the background of whatever outdoor environment you find yourself in. Portability is also surprisingly well thought out for a device that houses a compressor and a large lithium-ion battery. The sturdy wheels and the telescopic handle make rolling it across packed dirt and grass relatively effortless, though it does struggle a bit in deep, soft sand. Number 4. Titan Freeze Cooler. Titan is well known for their deep freeze, high-performance insulation, and I was excited to see if this soft-sided cooler could actually punch above its weight class. Right away, the exterior material feels rugged and water and stain repellent, making it incredibly easy to wipe clean after a dusty day at the park. During my temperature tests, the Titan Freeze completely outperformed my expectations for a cooler at this price point. Featuring an integrated radiant heat barrier, it managed to keep ice solid for nearly 2 full days of testing in warm, humid conditions. When I unzipped the top after 48 hours, my drinks were still swimming in a slurry of icy water, perfectly cold and ready to be enjoyed. The accessibility of this cooler is another major strong point that won me over during my road trip test. It features a brilliantly designed flip-open top that gives you instant, wide-mouth access to your drinks without having to wrestle with stubborn, rigid zippers every single time you want a sip of water. It also features an insulated front pocket, which proved to be incredibly handy for storing napkins, bottle openers, and a few small snack bars away from the cold zone. Carrying the Titan Freeze is a thoroughly pleasant experience thanks to the highly adjustable backsaver shoulder strap. The strap is designed to center the load weight, dramatically reducing the strain on your neck and shoulders, even when the cooler is packed to its absolute maximum capacity. I carried this fully loaded on a mile-long hike to a swimming hole, and the ergonomic design truly made a noticeable difference compared to standard strap designs. 3. Carhartt Camping Cooler. When you first lay hands on this cooler, you instantly notice the heavy-duty Rain Defender water-repellent canvas. This thing looks and feels like it belongs on a muddy construction site just as much as it belongs at a pristine lakeside campground, and that heavy-duty build quality is exactly why I love it. The layout of this cooler is brilliantly practical, utilizing a fully insulated dual-compartment design. The main bottom compartment is perfectly sized to hold up to 24 cans, along with a generous amount of ice, while the top dome compartment acts as a separate insulated zone. I found this top section to be absolutely perfect for keeping my sandwiches, chips, and softer fruits perfectly chilled but safely separated from the heavy cans and wet ice below. In terms of thermal performance, the Carhartt absolutely holds its own, keeping ice frozen and drinks cold well into the second day of my hot weather testing. The interior features a fully seam-sealed liner that genuinely prevents leaks. Even when the cooler ended up tipping over in the back of my truck, I didn't find a single drop of water seeping through the heavy canvas exterior, which gave me immense peace of mind. The hardware on this cooler is just as tough as the fabric, featuring oversized, heavy-duty YKK zippers that glide smoothly and never snag, even when the cooler is stuffed to the breaking point. The adjustable shoulder strap comes with a thick, comfortable pad, and the reinforced top grab handle gives you multiple reliable ways to haul your gear around. 2. Yeti Hopper Flip 12. There is no denying that Yeti is the heavyweight champion of the premium cooler world, and the Hopper Flip 12 brings all of that over-engineered excellence into a compact, highly portable format. Constructed from high-density fabric that is waterproof, mildew-resistant, and practically puncture-proof, this cooler is built like an absolute tank. The ice retention on the Hopper Flip 12 is nothing short of phenomenal. Thanks to the closed-cell rubber foam insulation, I recorded some of the lowest and most consistent internal temperatures out of any cooler I tested. I left this out in direct, blazing sunlight for 2 entire days, and it still held a massive block of solid ice inside. If maximum uncompromising cold holding power is your primary metric, this cooler is genuinely hard to beat. One of the defining features of the Flip 12 is its Hydro-Lock zipper, which Yeti claims is the toughest, highest performing waterproof cooler zipper in the world. I can confirm through my testing that it is 100% leak-proof. You can completely invert this cooler when it is full of water, and not a single drop will escape. It is incredibly secure, though it does require a bit of physical force to yank open and closed, which can take some getting used to. The wide mouth opening makes packing and unpacking incredibly easy, giving you full visibility of everything inside without having to dig around blindly. The hitch point grid on the exterior is a fantastic touch, allowing you to easily attach bottle openers, multi-tools, or Yeti's proprietary dry gear bags. It feels like a fully customizable command center for your outdoor excursions. Number 1. Titan Hardbody Cooler. Taking the ultimate #1 spot on our list is the Titan Hardbody Cooler, specifically the zipperless Hardbody model. A true masterpiece of cooler engineering that perfectly balances price, convenience, and top-tier performance. What completely won me over with this cooler is its patented zipperless lid. Instead of fighting with stiff, waterproof zippers every time you want a drink, the lid uses a simple, secure, friction-fit design that allows you to flip it open with one hand, grab a drink, and snap it closed instantly. Inside the rugged exterior lies a removable hard plastic liner that provides incredible structure and durability. This hard liner guarantees that the cooler will never leak, gives you a rigid space that protects your fragile food from getting crushed, and can be completely removed and washed out in the sink with a sponge. This hybrid approach gives you the comfortable carrying experience of a soft cooler with the reliable, leak-proof protection of a hard cooler. But Titan didn't stop there. They also included their brilliant Smart Shelf inside the hard liner. This is a rigid separator that allows you to keep hard stuff like drinks and ice at the bottom, while keeping softer stuff like sandwiches on the shelf above, completely out of the ice and water. During my weekend camping trip, this simple but genius feature completely revolutionized how I packed, keeping my lunch perfectly intact and ice cold. The insulation performance is absolutely stellar, matching and in some cases beating coolers that cost 3 times as much. Utilizing their deep freeze high-performance insulation and a radiant heat barrier, it kept my ice frozen solid for over 2 days in the sweltering heat. The exterior is incredibly tough, easily wiping clean from dirt and mud, and it features multiple highly useful exterior pockets for your keys, phone, and dry snacks.